Look at this mobility. I'm telling you, when I tell you this is elite mobility, it does not get any better than this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're gonna do a technique video. And for those of you that don't know, that's what this channel was based off originally. This is an Olympic weightlifting based channel. However, I do a lot of stuff around fitness, strength and conditioning, and athletics in general, stuff on the internet that's viral. Maybe that's what you know me from. If you're new to the channel and you're interested in what I do, please subscribe. I get a lot of views from people who aren't subscribers. I get it. That's how the YouTube sphere works. But if you subscribe, it really, really helps me out in the future. Now, I have a section here on my channel called Technique Videos. If you click it, there should be 48 videos. This video is called 2 very underrated points of performance, the head position and missing behind. And this kind of will go along with what we're going to talk about today. The beginning portion of this video, I talk about the hip crease being below the knee crease. Now, this is a very important thing for weightlifters to understand. If you want to snatch and if you want to clean, when we do things in those squatting positions, the hip crease being visibly below the knee crease is going to help you out a lot. So what we have is, there are some people who don't have very good dorsiflexion. And so what's important here is obviously try and develop the dorsiflexion. Things that you can do are just sitting in the bottom of a squat. I have a video that's just called the 5-minute squat protocol. You can do something like that. But there are some people with very good dorsiflexion or, whatever, lack of hip mobility and durability or just confidence in their hips. So what's important to understand is right away, we need to have visible hip crease below the knee crease. Okay, that's going to be helpful for us in the catch position. Then when we look at the catch position, we need to think about head being through and hip crease being below the knee. And you can see I'm demoing that right now. We're not going to put the bar behind us. We're going to put our head down, and then we're going to squat so that our hip crease is noticeably below the knee. Now, this is really important. And what ends up happening with a lot of very competent lifters is they end up having the really good pulling technique, really good turnover, the movement, the speed of getting under the bar is very good, but because they have such good dorsiflexion and because they can pull the bar so well, they kind of miss out on the hip crease being below the knee. Now, today we're going to talk about an elite lifter. And guys, in my opinion, to entail an elite lifter, it's just simply an internationally competitive lifter. Usually that means national champion. That's kind of my lower bound of elite lifter. And then the upper bound would be someone like xiaojun, a dominant force in weightlifting. That's the lower and upper bound of elite weightlifter. So this weightlifter, his name is Ryan Sester. He's multiple national champion. And an incredibly competent lifter. And he just competed at Pan Am's and he didn't snatch very well. And I actually talked to him on the phone about his technique and about things that I saw and things that I would like to talk to him about and show him via this video. And I figured I might as well show you guys too. And before we get into it, this is not a commentary on him like not being a good athlete. This is not a commentary on his coach or coaching or anything like that at all. Guys, I started this channel being absolutely obsessed with technique and finding ways to view the snatch and the clean and jerk and apply things, giving people applicable things that they can do themselves. And this is something that I feel very, very passionate about. If there's one thing that I feel that I'm an expert at, it's viewing the snatch and the clean and jerk, breaking it down, and hopefully giving someone something they can work on. This is not me coming from a point of authority towards Ryan. So please do not look at it like that. So before we get into Ryan's lifts, I want to show you a lift from Mohammed Ehab. So this is what I love about Mohammed Ehab. He has all the mobility in the world. He has all of the technical prowess in the world. But you can see this distinct delineation between his hip crease and his knee crease. Very, very distinct. And what does that come with? It comes with the head positioning. Why is this? So if we look at the overhead position, we want, I think, 3 main check marks here. The first one is the elbows must be locked. Elbows locked very hard. Okay. The other one is thinking about taking your shoulders and depressing them down, pulling them this way and together. Elbows locked, shoulders down and together. Now, a lot of people, a lot of you out there can do this standing up, but can you do this in a full squat, in a squat where your hip crease is below the knee crease? What you'll see is as you squat down, a lot of times something is going to give way. The elbows might start to bend. The shoulders might start to roll forward. So what we want to be able to do is pull, lock, and maintain that in those positions. Okay, so we have this position. This is what we're looking for. Now, when we look at Ryan's lifts here, all right, so look, right where Ryan catches this bar, I mean, this bar is pulled to the moon. He looks incredible off the floor, great position, bar is close. If we pause it at contact, look at that. His feet are flat. Like, this is so technically sound. This is beautiful. And notice we have a little arm bend, but it's just noticeable in some people. Some people it's less notable, but most people have a very slight arm bend. That's a totally different subject. It's so nuanced. I don't want to get into it right now. We're talking about something else. But look, when Ryan settles, okay, what you can see is when he wants to settle and stop this bar, he has his hip crease is not really noticeably below his knee crease, but his head position is fantastic. So what we have here then is a bar that's starting to kind of float back on us, and we don't have the support from behind and in front. We just have support directly in line with the bar. Does that make sense? We do not have the hips behind the bar and knees in front of the bar, or hips in line with the bar and knees in front of the bar. We just kind of have hips in line directly with the bar, and then everything else is in front of it. So now we have no support behind it. And now this bar kind of drifts back just a little bit, and he can't save it. Okay? We'll see in his second attempt. Same thing. Okay, this time he wasn't able to solidify it. I think he probably underpulled it because the last rep kept going behind him. He tried to make that adjustment. Now we have the same thing as that first rep. What we'll see is Ryan really wants to solidly stop the bar here. If we pull that away, look, the hip crease is not directly below the knee crease. What happens is this happens. Okay, he's way back in his heels. It's going to be a save if he ends up making this. But if this is the position that he naturally falls to, there is no save necessary. Do you see what I mean? There is no save. This is his spot. And when he gets this spot, when he nails this spot, he's going to stack kilos on the bar. The improvements are going to be awesome. This kid, I love his technique because he has an incredibly strong low back. He has long limbs, which people don't think is true, but long limbs create good leverages on the bars. I am a little bit too extreme in this. I've got too long of limbs. Unless I filled out my body to about 140 kilos, not as much of an advantage, but that's neither here nor there. If we look at a lifter like Alexander Zaychikov, he's a very good example of this. I think him and Ryan actually have like almost identical body types. Zaychikov was world champion and Olympic medalist, maybe Olympic gold medalist. I'm not entirely sure. But right, we see this bottom position, and this is the potential that Ryan has. Okay, now let's compare it to the one of Mohammed Ehab. If we have flat pressure in the heels, in the feet, so that the toes aren't up, you can see he's rocked back onto his heels here. If we have flat pressure, equal pressure here, this is a made lift. This is a comfortable lift. This is an easy lift. Ryan had talked to me about a bunch of different factors. Maybe he wasn't ready, maybe whatever. In my opinion, his lifting is so good. All that he would need to do is just when he squats, when he overhead squats, when he warms up, think about bringing his knees to his chest. When you bring your knees to your chest in the squat, you can then ensure that your hip crease will be below the knee crease. When you have your hip crease below the knee crease, your hips fall into this pocket where then you can just absorb force. When your hips are forward, you will not see that deviation between knee crease and hip crease. Do you guys see what I'm talking about? Hips forward, we don't have that deviation. When our hips are in the right spot, right? Or where they fall below the knee crease, we now have this ability to just stack kilos. The moment we stack kilos and our hips aren't ready to fall low below our knees, the hips slip out. And this is exactly what happens to Ryan here. Exactly what happens. The bar starts coming down. Look, he wants to stop the bar here. We don't have that deviation. Okay, any movement happens at all, he ends up going to the spot. If he had landed in that spot, he would be incredibly solid. I promise you, if you are snatching out there and you're doing full snatches, head position and hip crease below the knee crease, and you will see results. With Ryan, it's just a matter of training this position. He's obviously capable. He has elite strength. He has elite technique, and he has elite mobility. All he needs to do is just put these things together in training for a decent amount of time. This is not going to take much work at all. And this is what I was trying to tell Ryan. I was so excited when I saw his misses. I was like, dude, your lifting looks great. You are in a great position here. You look healthy. You're moving the bar very fast. Not many people can pull the bar with such intensity like he does. And have this mobility that he does. He is sitting pretty. In my opinion, he's got everything necessary. One last thing I want to show you guys. So when Ryan was feeling really good, he attempted 170. And look, let's just see if you can see what happens. Okay. Now, everything wants to go forward. You guys see this? This is all dorsiflexion. All of it. This kid is going to make 170 plus. I don't know what his limit's going to be, okay? But when he prepares his hips to catch this, he is going to catch this. It's basically already where it needs to be. Look at this mobility. I'm telling you, when I tell you this is elite mobility, it does not get any better than this. It absolutely does not get any better than this. So again, guys, this is what this channel was built off of. Okay, I am absolutely, it's not obsessed with technique, it just interests me so much. And again, like I said, if there's anything that I'm an expert in, because I've worked with so many people and watched so many snatches and clean and jerks, it's this type of stuff. And this is really what this channel was built off of. I hope you liked it. Even if you don't snatch and clean and jerk and you're interested and you like stuff like this, I appreciate it so much that you're here. Again, Ryan, I love you. I cannot to see what you do in this sport. I'm your biggest fan, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.